Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football. I hope all of you are doing well. The England squad is now getting packed with blue. Left, right and centre. Not only have we got one person in the England team now, we got two. Yeah. Bet you're surprised. We don't normally have England players anymore. You know, Reece James has been called up to the England squad. And now, lo and behold, we do have another player. Courtesy of someone's injury, which is not what we want to hear. But Trevoh Chalobah has been called up and we are buzzing because finally Trev gets another opportunity under Thomas Tuchel and we get to see what he's going to do at the expense of Mark Guehi, who has just been out with an injury. So this is the big chance for Trevoh Chalobah to prove himself. We have the confirmation. Now for Chelsea, we used to have loads of England players in the team. Even in the time of obviously Mason Mount and Conor Gallagher and all these guys, we used to be kind of rammed with England players. Now, Cole Palmer's injured. We've only got Reece. Trev is going to accompany him over there too. So let's get right into it. And we've got loads to cover today, so stick till the end. Starting off with this. Nizar Kinsella, exclusive. Chelsea's Trevoh Chalobah set to replace injured Mark Guehi in England squad today. Beautiful news. Beautiful news. Absolutely deserved. I mean, look, Trevoh Chalobah as of late, not the best, but I think overall, when you're looking at the players that do get called up and you do see the level, I don't see why someone like Trevoh Chalobah shouldn't be called up by a manager like Thomas Tuchel. I think Thomas Tuchel knows how to use Trev. He has used Trev at Chelsea before. In fact, he handed him his debut, if we remember, when Trev scored that long-range shot and it went in and he started crying, if you remember, or he shed a tear or two. You know, that was a phenomenal moment. And that was under Tommy T. So Trevoh Chalobah, I think, will really appreciate this. And hopefully now England are qualified, we get to see some experimentation and we get to see players that we don't normally get to see get in minutes in order to see what they're going to offer in an England shirt. So it's going to be an interesting weekend. Even though it's international break, I think it's going to be an interesting one in terms of seeing the levels of players that don't normally get picked. Trevoh Chalobah, I think, has an opportunity here to try and show what he can do properly to Thomas Tuchel. So we'll see what happens, but definitely deserved overall. Lately, as of the last couple of games, Trevoh Chalobah has been much better. Alongside Wesley Fofana, much better for the both of them, to be honest. So I'm looking forward to this. And I'm going to keep an eye on the England games. I'm going to see how Trev is going to do. And fingers crossed we see good performances from him. So let me know your thoughts. Do you think Trev should be picked constantly in the England team? Do you think he warrants it? Let me know down below. Now, as we move to other stories that have kicked off today, we're going to start with one that, I mean, look, irrespective of what we think of the player, this is not what we want to report, right? This is just not what we want to talk about. So here's latest in terms of Raheem Sterling. So Raheem Sterling has been the subject of another burglary, with the former England international understood to have been in the house with his family when it took place. Chelsea are aware of the incident and the club are supporting Raheem Sterling. So Raheem Sterling, who has been at the hands of a burglary before, this time got targeted for a second burglary by masked men who entered his house, and he did have his family, his missus and his kids there this time with him. Now I don't know if maybe, apparently this took place at the time of Chelsea playing, I'm not sure if it was Tottenham, but Chelsea were in the middle of a game. So I don't know if it was strategically calculated and maybe the burglars thought, yeah, no, look, he's not going to be home because Chelsea are playing. And I can see why they might have thought that. But newsflash, burglars, you really need to be paying attention to football news a little bit more, because Raheem Sterling's not in the squad. So he can go home. Yeah? Doesn't have to be there. He's not obligated because he's not part of the squad. He's in the bomb squad. In the bomb squad, just show up, train and go home. So very bad due diligence from the burglars' part here. But if we're serious, Raheem Sterling, I hope he's okay. I hope his family all right. I hope all is well. Considering they were in the house at the time, I'm under the pretense that nothing really happened in terms of their safety, damages, any actual burglary. I'm hoping that they must have just fled the scene, or I hope they got caught. and Raheem Sterling and his family are okay. So yeah, this is something, look, this is something now that unfortunately we're seeing more and more of this. I'm not just talking in terms of footballers, I'm talking in terms of normal people across the board. Crime is on the rise in a way that is mental, as far as I'm concerned, across the UK. Let's not get into that conversation, I mean, because it's just an absolute cesspit, isn't it? Anyway, I hope his family are all right. Let me know your thoughts down below. Now, someone who has avoided international duty, and I'm going to tell you why I'm actually happy to hear this. Yeah, you're going to be surprised. Let's get into it. Chelsea winger Pedro Neto has withdrawn from Roberto Martinez's Portugal squad for upcoming World Cup qualifiers against the Republic of Ireland and Armenia due to a groin issue. Groin issue. Yeah, cool. Okay. Okay. We'll just say groin. Yeah? We'll just, cool. Let's run with that. Yeah, you got a groin issue. Cool. No problem. No problem. I'm cool with that. Absolutely fine. Yeah, Pedro Neto's got a groin problem. Yeah, he cannot go on internationals, and he must not go on internationals because he's injured. You know what? This is the time. This is the only time where I actually hope to hear injuries. Injuries. Listen, as long as these players are avoiding international duty, I'm happy. It's as simple as that. I am happy. If Pedro Neto's not playing, great. Yeah, Reece James, if you got a groin issue, go on. Actually, no. I actually want to see him play for England, and I want to see him play under Tuchel. Okay. Everyone else, Esteval, have you got an issue, mate? Actually, he was balling at Arsenal's training ground. In fact, he hit the crossbar earlier on. I saw that training session. There was clips coming out of that training session, and he hit the crossbar. Anyway, I don't know if, if Arsenal players return back to their training ground to find that the pipes have been clogged with toilet paper or something, it wasn't Esteval. Yeah, I'm just saying. It wasn't. Just, hey, Esteval, just try and do something there, yeah? Anyway, look. Pedro Neto, I'm pretty sure, does have an issue. Something really minuscule. But look, I hope things get exaggerated to make it seem like it's something where, not just him, I'm talking in general. The games that we're about to see this international break are pointless. There's maybe a handful that mean something. But the rest, everyone's qualified. So there's no point, yeah? It doesn't really mean anything, which is why, look, Pedro Neto's not going to internationals? Great. Because then he can be available for Chelsea. Anyone else that wants to go down the same route? Great. Enzo, he's not going to internationals? Great. But he's actually injured. But you get the gist. Let's see how it goes. This international break, I hope we come out with it. I hope we come out of it with no injuries and everyone, basically comes out okay. So let's wait and see. Now, good news for. I was going to say what I was about to read. So let me just read it. Here it is. Chelsea-bound Strasbourg forward Emegha has received his first call-up from the Netherlands. Congratulations. And absolutely deserved. Emegha has been pretty good for Strasbourg. He does deserve that call-up. And now let's see what he does on the level of Holland. Yeah. Internationals. Now, actually, who are the Netherlands playing? I'm actually going to look this up. Because I don't actually know. In terms of the qualifiers, I think is what they're going to be playing because everyone still has qualifiers to get through. The Netherlands have, if we actually are able to get this up, why is this not, okay, finally, we got it up. They've got Poland and Lithuania. Poland is a decent game. Emegha, I'm expecting a goal. And these are for qualifiers to the World Cup. So, interesting. Hopefully he does well out there. Let's wait and see. We'll keep our tabs on that one and we'll see how he's going to do. Fingers crossed he has a good international break. So good luck to Emegha. And then we keep our eyes on January. There's still the theory that Emegha might leave Strasbourg to head to Chelsea. Is that going to happen or not? God knows. Anyway, let's wait and see. Let me know your thoughts on Emegha getting called up to the Netherlands. Now, what I'm about to show you, if you had said this 2 years ago, someone would have punched you in the face. It's amazing what can happen, and it's amazing how things have happened. Here's the latest out of Lyon in France. Olympique Lyon and Endrick Exclusive story from October set to become reality soon. The agreement between clubs also very advanced on straight loan with no buy option clause included. Endrick wants OL move. Endrick is on his way to Lyon on a loan. It's mad when you look at Endrick and what he was doing in Brazil. And he went to Real Madrid and everyone had this expectation. And then Esteval came along and a lot of people, myself included, looked and went, what are we doing? You know, the boy's 16. Are we really doing this? Like, then you look at Endrick and how his trajectory's gone. And then you look at Esteval and you look at his trajectory and how that's gone. It's night and day, isn't it? It's absolutely night and day. What we're expecting out of Endrick, we're getting and we're seeing with Esteval. And what we expected from Esteval is basically what we're seeing out of Endrick now. You know, where probably not much is going to come out of this. He's got a lot to learn. Nah, it's going to take its time. He's not that special. Endrick looked mad in Brazil. He's the one that's going to blow up. Nah. It's gone absolutely wrong at Real Madrid. He barely plays. When he does, nothing happens. And now all of a sudden, he's off on a loan to Lyon just to find some game time somewhere. Whereas Esteval, he's coming to Chelsea and he's doing things basically as natural as it looks, with a cigar in his mouth, not even trying, and he's like, yeah, I'm basically the best player in the team, and I don't even need to look, and I know that I'm the best player in the team right now. It's amazing how things happen sometimes, isn't it? Now, this is where, look, when we're loud enough to give the criticism to recruitment, we got to be loud enough to give praise. This is where we look at the identifying of a player like Esteval, who has slotted into this Chelsea team beautifully, to the point where the entire fan base are desperate for him to start a game, and everyone's begging for it. And Maresca's like, no, mate, no, not yet. And we're like, what are you doing? Whereas Endrick can't even get a minute at Real Madrid, and now he's heading off on loan to France. It's amazing what happens in football sometimes. Sometimes there's a little lesson here. Sometimes you've got to let things play out. You just have to. And I understand that with time, trust forms and trust builds. And for a player like Esteval, he has proven that. But it goes to show what we originally thought was going to happen. Nope, in the bin. Right now, Esteval looks the much better player out of him and Endrick. And 2 years ago, if someone had said that, again, they would have punched you in the face. Mental. So, anyway, I love it because Esteval's our player and Endrick isn't. It's as simple as that. But I'm curious to see how it's going to go for Endrick in Lyon. I actually think he's going to look good out there. Because of the French league, because of Lyon, because he's going to be playing every game, because he's, and I think once he gets a rhythm, we're going to see what Endrick can do. Let's wait and see. Anyway, let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think in this whole Endrick scenario? I'd love to hear. Now, as we wrap up, we've got 2 more things to get through. Marco Silva, check this out. Understand Fulham are weighing up the future Marco Silva. Tensions are mounting with Fulham, only a point above the relegation zone, and Silva, who is a free agent this summer, has proven reluctant to sign a new deal. This has been Fulham's preference since the summer. Interesting. So, actually, I mentioned this on Shootout. Earlier on, me and George gave the Premier League roundup for all the games that went down this weekend. Go and have a look. I'll leave a link right here. Go and have a butcher's. It's actually a really good video. And it's a funny video too. You're going to like it if you haven't seen it already. Make sure you're subbed over there. Constant content coming, and there's going to be a lot of content in the international break for you guys on there as well. So head over there, subscribe, and enjoy. You're going to like what's coming. So, but I mentioned on there earlier on in terms of the video for this weekend and the roundup for this Premier League weekend that Fulham's loss to Everton means that now pressure is mounting on Marco Silva, without question. Because Fulham's form right now is in the bin. Even though they started off the season not getting the results but playing well, now they're at a point where they're not really playing well and nothing's happening. And Marco Silva is going to be the one under the microscope. It's as simple as that. So, and now it's happening. Ben Jacobs talking about Fulham weighing up there for his future. I don't blame them. It makes sense. The problem is, if they already had an inkling that he was going to leave this summer. He's a free agent this summer, end of contract, nothing's been agreed. I mean, you'd think they would do their due diligence. Surely they've got someone lined up just in case, you know? Surely they've got an idea of who they want to target. Because right now, Fulham are not playing well. And it cannot go on. I suspect if it goes on for another 2-3 games, they might pull the trigger. Let's wait and see though. After the international break, we'll see what happens. So, Marco Silva, let me know your thoughts on that one. And to wrap up, my Nigerian friends, yes, all of you, you are the third highest country that watches my channel, and not just me. I think throughout the entire Chelsea demographic, if you talk to George, his analytics are the same. If you look at Shootout, the analytics are the same. If you go to probably Matisse and others, Nini and others, everyone else, right? They're all the same. Nigeria and a lot of the other African countries, Ghana, Kenya, South Africa specifically, all you boys, your top 6 basically. But Nigeria, third. So there's a lot of you watching, which means that I get to talk about your federation. And now you're all hearing this and going, oh my God, I'm going to switch the video off. No, don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Stay here. Don't worry. It's a fellow African talking to you. I know what you're feeling and I know what you're going through. And this is why I want to mention this, because this needs to come out. We need to have exposure now. The way to fix what's going on, it's less than before, I'm happy to say. But the one issue that African football has, it's what I'm about to show you. And this needs to be made public, right? So then maybe this problem can be fixed, because I'm frustrated. When I look at African football and I see what I'm about to read to you guys, it hurts. Because without this, I'm telling you, without this issue that I'm about to show you right now, an African team would have already won the World Cup. I will promise you that. There's been countless examples of teams in the past that were good enough to go all the way, but things like this that I'm about to show you is what stopped them. You go all the way back to the 70s, maybe the 80s mainly and onwards, and there's always been 1 or 2 African teams at the highest level that face this sort of issue, and it stops them from progressing. And I don't like it. And now it's Nigeria on the brink of them playing a World Cup qualifier that's going to either send them to the World Cup or eliminate them, a playoff. It's an important game. I'm about to show you. So here it is. Pay attention. Breaking news, Super Eagles, players and officials boycott training today in Morocco because of unresolved issues with outstanding payments. This is really sad. Now, I'm also going to show you something else, because Alex Iwobi took a picture or video at the hotel that they're staying in close to Rabat in Morocco, because they're playing this playoff game in Morocco. And the view looked horrendous, and everyone thought, oh my God, are you staying in some sort of slum? Anyway, that's been corrected. It's not. It's a 4-star hotel that they're staying in. It's just the view out of Iwobi's window, which he's clarified himself. He said it's just the view. The hotel's fine. Just the view, that's just my view. It's not a great view. But I managed to have a good understanding from a Moroccan that understands the area that they are staying in, and understand exactly what is the reason why the Nigerian Football Federation have placed the Nigeria team in that specific hotel. Well, let me show you, and I hope Alhambra, who's a regular viewer of the channel, he contributes fairly, and I'm going to show what he has said here. From a Moroccan to the world who understands this region very, very well, better than me and you. Let's get into it. He says sometimes you pick the short straw and get a less than ideal view, but that doesn't take away from the amenities of the hotel in regards to Alex Iwobi and the hotel. They picked an okay area in Rabat, but not the most luxury. He says, I've been in that situation a few times across Europe and the States, but typically I'm on a short business trip, so it's whatever. In any case, the NFF, the Nigeria Football Federation, reasoning that it's close to the stadium is rubbish. The stadium is all the way in Hey Riyadh, which is a genuinely luxury area. They skimped on costs, and I guarantee that's why the players are now on strike. So if you look at where they are situated, right, and where they have to go to in Hey Riyadh, that's a 20-25 minute journey away, when they are currently settled in an area that is less expensive than having to book in Hey Riyadh itself. So it's a cost-cutting measure. Now, what I don't understand is that plus the outstanding payments, the unresolved issue of outstanding payments to players and to staff from the Nigeria Football Federation on the eve of a playoff to determine whether you're going to qualify to the World Cup is insane. Normally, if you go to the playoff of a World Cup qualifier, in order to determine, especially what Nigeria had to do, what the team had to do to claw back from the depths, they were finished, and they still managed to get themselves to the playoff. We saw what happened in the last game where Victor Osimhen played a fantastic game. Nigeria, on the brink. I've seen this with Algeria. I've seen times where we are on the brink of qualifying and the federation are like, you know what? Do everything we need to do. We have to go and qualify. Put it all on the line. What happened with Egypt in 2009? The Algerian government sent planes of fans from military bases, yeah? They sent military aircraft to Sudan to go and attend the playoff just to try and get more numbers in terms of supporters in Egypt, which worked. And that's why we made it through, because the flipping ground was filled with prisoners and all of that. It was mad. It was a flipping... African football is a beautiful thing. Yeah, you're not going to understand this if you're not African. But anyway, I don't understand why the Nigerian Football Federation are in this situation on the eve of a big, big game that determines whether Nigeria are going to go to the World Cup or not. I find that boggling. Outstanding payments. Now imagine if the federation doesn't play stupid games, and this goes to all African federations because a lot of them have been guilty of this. Instead of playing around with money, yeah, we know what that means, and doing things for their own benefits, yeah, and pockets and all of that, right? Imagine if everything was done correctly. I tell you, and I tell you, and I tell you now, the talent that African countries have, I guarantee by now, like I said, an African team would have won the World Cup by now. It's things like this that's stopping us in general. It's things like this that's stopping us. And it needs to stop. It needs to stop. Because the talent is there. If the resources are there, and if the professionalism is there, no one will stop them, man. At least countries will come close. But I'm telling you, Africa will put up a fight. Why don't we allow it? It's things like this. This needs to stop. It's a shame to hear this about the Nigeria Football Federation on the eve of such a big game, and I hope the team can pull through. But the environment's not going to be a good environment, let me tell you that now. So let me know your thoughts. And Nigerians, I want to hear what you have to say. Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear. In terms of this news, what's going on, where the team's located, in terms of where they should be. They should be close to the stadium. They should be in Hay Riyadh. They're not. Unresolved, outstanding payments for players and for staff. Training got boycotted. See what happens? Now they're not training. Okay, so they're going to be ready for the game. They're not going to be ready. Unreal. Let me know your thoughts. Much appreciated. Subscribe, notification bell on. Make sure you're on Shootout as well, like I've said. Make sure you're here tomorrow for more content, and I'll catch you then. Subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow. In a bit, look after yourselves, take care, and peace.